I've selected my steaks that I cut off the tenderloin, and now I'm seasoning them with some kosher salt and freshly ground black pepper. I usually don't do any kind of rubs. For me, I love the taste of beef, so salt and pepper and cooked correctly with a good sear is all I need. I'm putting them on a wire rack today so that they don't end up sitting in a wet plate while the seasoning sinks in. I don't always do this, but I will do it when I have the time or when I'm doing something special, like making a video. I left these out at room temp for about 45 minutes, and now I'm just blotting off any moisture that's on the steaks so we get a good crust when we stick them in the pan. The next thing that I'm going to do to prep these is tie them to make the shapes and sizes a little more uniform. I use cotton kitchen twine and then just kind of smush it together to create as much of a circle as I can. Then I tie it with what's called a surgeon's knot, which just means that after I cross the twine, I pass the one side under the other twice instead of once. And this helps the knot grab onto itself so that you can then put another single knot on top of it and it will hold while you're creating that second knot. Hopefully it's clearer by watching what I'm doing than what I'm actually saying. But this method works really great whether you're tying meat or ribbon on gifts, because it helps hold it tight while you put in that second knot. All this time, I have my cast iron skillet heating on a medium high. And I want to make sure the twine doesn't slip off the steak. So the steaks have already been seasoned with salt and pepper, and this is all I'm going to use: butter, a garlic clove, and some fresh thyme. I also have my tongs and my probe thermometer ready. You can see the cast iron is smoking hot, and I just put them down, let them go 5 minutes, and flip. These steaks are all between 7 and 7.5 ounces. At this point, I've turned my burner down because the cast iron really is going to retain a lot of that heat. The thyme and the garlic is going to infuse in the butter, and then we're going to use that infused butter to baste the steaks. Chefs tend to use a lot more butter than this, but I find this is all I need, and I don't want to waste any. Be warned that that fresh thyme will sizzle and spit when it hits the hot fat. Most of the time that the second side is cooking, I am using that thyme to baste. Do I do this every time I make fillets? No. Sometimes I just use the salt and pepper, a little bit of oil, and call it a day. But for this video, I'm going to make it special. I'm going for a medium to medium rare. Medium rare is 130 to 135, and medium is 140 to 145. And I usually pull these about 5 degrees under because then I'm going to let them rest, and the carryover cooking will bring them up at least that additional 5 degrees. Then the trick is to remember which one is which so that the right steak goes to the right person. Next, I'm going to cut and remove the strings and then loosely cover them with foil and allow the meat to rest for 5 to 10 minutes. I usually go 5. I can't possibly wait 10. This all smells too good and I can't wait to eat. Thanks for watching. This is perfectly done for me, so it's time.